We are very excited about our upcoming game. It's a great experience. We have a great opportunity to play an outstanding team, but just the overall experience is a great opportunity. And I want to thank John Calipari for really putting this thing together and giving our program the chance to participate in something like this. And he just called me one day a couple years back and had the idea, and it went from there. And he's been so supportive of our program from the very first time he got here, first day he ever showed up on campus. He came over into our office and was positive that day and has been positive every day since. Personally, he's been very supportive of me as a young coach and shared a lot of wisdom with me over the years. So to have a person like that to work with and to promote our program the way that he has, I'm really appreciative, and we thank him a lot for that. It's going to be a great opportunity to play one of the most hard-nosed, aggressive, tough basketball programs in the country. Baylor is just really tough, have been ever since Coach Mulkey's taken over that program, and it's a program that we have tremendous respect for. It'll be a very difficult game. We will have to prepare well to have an opportunity to win. So we're headed down tomorrow with our mind on going down and playing really hard and seeing if we can come back to Lexington with a very significant victory.
So you didn't at any point want to strangle Coach Calipari for setting up this game for you again in Texas?
I did not. No, at no point. It's such a unique opportunity, and you just don't see it done. You don't see anything like this done really anywhere in the country. And Cal knows one thing: he's a lot smarter than I am. So he had the idea, and he called me one afternoon, and I agreed in about 15 seconds. So it wasn't a lot of back and forth on it. It's a great way to showcase the University of Kentucky, bring a lot of great attention to our university, and certainly to our program to be attached to this kind of high-profile event. It's exciting.
So Baylor hasn't fallen off the face of the earth without Brian?
No, the top 10 team. They are, have won 2 national championships and have just been consistently good for over a decade now. And they are one of the really fine women's basketball programs in the country. So Odyssey Sims is probably the best singular talent that I've seen in the country this year. She is really amazing. There's some other very talented players, but she is putting up just monstrous numbers right now, and they found a way to increase their scoring average. So they are a very good team, certainly not one-dimensional, and life continues after Brittany Griner. They're alive and well, I can promise you that.
They turn the ball over, I think, 11 times a game. You guys are trying to obviously force 25 plus. Kind of what do you think will be the?
I just think it's really important for us to play good team defense. We need to do everything we can to make the other team uncomfortable, and sometimes that's in the full court with the press. Against U of L on Sunday, it was more in the half court. So no matter where we can find the opportunity, we need to try to make them very uncomfortable. And that's going to be hard work because they have such talented players on the team. So, it's a big challenge for us, especially when you think about going into a brand new environment and not being there before and seeing how all that plays out. But we've got to try to do the best job we can to stay focused on playing Kentucky defense, and that usually means everybody's involved.
Is the goal still to turn them over 25 times a game, or
Yes.
Does it remain for everybody?
Well, that's a minimum goal, and so if you watch film and you feel like you have some advantages that can exceed that, we'll do that. We always try to set a realistic goal, but one that challenges the players. So, to turn a team over 25 times is a staggering amount. it's become the norm for us, and it just tells you how hard our kids have worked over the years. But 25 against a top 10 team, that's a real challenging number, and you want to play hard enough to try to approach that. Like we did on Sunday, we were able to get to 24 for U of L, and it's hard to do. It's not easy.
When you're shooting as well as you guys are, do you worry about going into a giant arena setting? And is there any way to really prepare for that? Will you get a chance to go shoot there?
I've just always tried to not spend a lot of time on things that I have no control over. So it may bother some coaches. It doesn't bother me. There's not anything I can do about it. The game is going to be played where it's going to be played. We will go practice tomorrow. We will get back in there on Friday and get advantage of our game day practice slot. We'll do everything we can to help the players get prepared to shoot in there. But our teams have shot poorly in Memorial Coliseum. They've shot poorly at different places. I mean, they've shot well on the road before. So I just don't I spend zero time thinking about stuff like that.
Will the men's and women's teams travel together? Will you guys get to spend time together?
We will. We'll travel down, and that was one of the things when it was first proposed that John said he wanted to do, was everybody travel together and make it a great experience, a unique experience, a one-of-a-kind type deal. So we will all get on the plane together tomorrow and head down to Dallas. So it's a lot of fun. It's very, very unique. It's very exciting, and we're just very appreciative to be a part of it.
You guys have built a program in your own right. You draw, you're on television, but is this something you would consider doing more of in the future if you could find ways to pair up the men's and women's game?
Oh, sure. Listen, there's in college basketball, what our men's program has done over more than a century now is they've just created an incredible brand that's as recognizable as any sports brand in the world. And so, you know, I just have always thought you're silly if you don't try to do everything you can to be a part of that. So, and then, you know, Cal is just so supportive, and he's so creative and thinks about things like this, and he didn't have to. He could have gone down there and done this on his own. He could have played the game on his own, and so anytime that we can be involved in positive things, and this is what I've always said about Cal. What I love about him is he's come to Kentucky with positive energy, and we just try to get it. I try to get around as many positive people as possible, and so I would welcome more opportunities like this.
How different is Baylor without Griner? What's different about it?
They're very different because they just it was very, very difficult to score around the rim. Just that was one part of your offense that you had to be very skilled, and you had to just be outstanding outside and inside to make Brittany come away from the goal, and very few teams could do that. Very few teams could do that. And so it's very different, but they are still very effective and a tough team. And so I just think that more parts of our offense will be available. We'll still have to execute. We'll still have to work real hard. They're still a formidable opponent, but they are very different.
With Denisha, she said that you said she was being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
She was playing poorly in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is like something that she can finally wrap her arms around, her head around? The last few games she's not maybe had her best games, but then sort of broke out of that in the second half.
Yeah, what you know, she's not selfish in the and I tell our players this, they have to understand, not selfish in the sense that if you needed to borrow $1, she'd lend that to you. She's not selfish that way, but the point I try to make to them is when you make it about yourself, and if you miss 2 layups, or for heaven's sake, man, I can't figure out why these things go on. I tried my best, but so whatever happened, if the draft came through and hit her on the wrong side of the face, or she missed 2 layups, or whatever it was, and you get down and you play with no energy, Kentucky basketball doesn't work without energy and effort and just a real edge to your game. And when you are real lethargic and cool and not into it, our deal does not work. And so I think it was probably the missed shots early on, and so she starts dragging around and won't get on the boards and won't play. To me, you're more worried about your game than you are us winning the game. That's selfish. So all that I ever need her to do is to play with great energy on defense and on the boards, and all the other stuff will figure itself out. She's been concerned about people double and triple teaming her, or the defense is sagging and collapsing on her. Samara Walker's not worried about that. She's going to get her own touches on the offensive glass. You can, just through your energy, if you're as talented as Denisha, you can give people all sorts of difficulties. And so that's what we'll just continue to try to encourage her. I'm just trying to coach her much harder in practice. You know, you want these kids to take responsibility for themselves, and for the most part they do. But I've changed my approach in practice. I'm going after it every day. The only way that we are going to be unsuccessful is if we do it to ourselves this season. We have an outstanding group of young women that are very talented. We're very fast, athletic, aggressive. There's all sorts of things. The only people that can stop us is ourselves. And we must practice with an edge and a tenacity that ensures that we're going to take the game floor that way.
I don't know how else to say it. You're just being more of an ass this season, or are you being difficult,
gracious.
or like how are you? How have
Well,
you
I mean,
changed
that's
your
just,
approach?
I wouldn't put it that way. But I am being more intense. And I've been intense, but you know, you have a good team, you have a veteran team. Every team, I just try to give the benefit of the doubt. And that deal Sunday could have gone the wrong way, and it would have been, in my mind, because of our approach to the game. So, you know, I have to take responsibility for getting the team prepared. That's part of my job, and so we can't take it for granted that we're going to be ready to go. So the only way I know how to get it done is in practice. So we're really trying to practice out of our mind right now. We're trying to practice really hard with a high level of intensity. That's how we're going to have to play Friday night to have a chance to win. There's no two ways about it. That one thing I know about a Kim Mulkey team is they're going to be aggressive and tough and hard-nosed, and that's where Kentucky needs to be. Because if we are, we're going to have a good season.
Anything else?
Is there anything else that I can expound on to help enlighten you folks? Let's just really get fired up. Craig Skinner's coming up. We've got to get out, buy a bunch of tickets. If you're not going to Dallas, get out here and watch them play volleyball this weekend. Going to punch through to the Sweet 16. God bless everybody. Thank you very much.